Ice-type Pokemon. One of, if not, the weakest Pokemon type defensively, but it's also a type that does great offensively. A type that has the most unique type combinations at 11, and the only type that really takes advantage of the Hail weather effect. On top of all this, Generation 7 introduced a few cool new ways for the Ice type to make better use of Hail and to help their defensive capabilities. And with the right Pokemon, the Ice type can actually be somewhat of a threat. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the 6 Pokemon that I think make the best Mono Ice type team. What's going on, guys? HybridHero here. Since winter is here, we're going to be going over what the best Ice type Pokemon team is. You may have clicked on this video thinking that it's a Mr. Umbreon video, since he does cover the best team videos of different Pokemon games and regions. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you should probably go check him out, as those are some pretty good guides to the respective Pokemon games and just cool and fun videos to watch. But this best team series isn't really like his at all. The big question you guys may be asking is, how do you define the best monotype teams? The best monotype team series is a series where I go over 6 Pokemon of the same type that in my opinion would hypothetically make for the best team in a casual playthrough. Yes, if you were to trade Pokemon, then you can actually use this team for your full playthrough during the Alola games. Ideally the Ultra games, which could actually give a breath of fresh air to your playthrough and make it a lot of fun. But unless you trade these Pokemon and have the correct moves bred onto them, then you more than likely won't ever be able to construct this team. These specialized teams are just teams that I want to make for fun, to take full advantage of what these types can offer, to show off the best of the type's abilities. That being said, I do understand that if there's any practical place to use a monotype team, it's for fun during online battles. And I'm sure that with a few changes, you can make this team work in competitive play. But for the sake of time and lack of knowledge, I won't be going over any competitive changes in this video. Finally, some guidelines when constructing the best monotype teams. Of course, all 6 Pokemon each share one typing. As we're looking at casual play, no legendaries, mythicals, ultra beasts, or Pokemon of that sort. And since this is a type themed video, and a video that's being made for fun, I decided that'd be a lot more fun if we made it so that every team has to use a Mega Evolution and Z Crystal of their respective type. This way, we really emphasize the power of specializing in a Pokemon type. Now that we got the explanations out of the way, let's actually talk about the Ice type. If you've seen my video on how to make the Ice type Pokemon better, then you already know that the Ice type is absolutely terrible defensively. 4 weaknesses to Fire, Rock, Fighting, and Steel, and 1 resistance, without resistance only being to itself. Fortunately, Ice type moves actually do pretty well offensively and go hand to hand with a lot of moves of other types. And believe it or not, the Ice type actually has quite a good number of dual typings. So, if we want to construct the best Ice type team, we're gonna have to focus a lot more on offense rather than defense. But one of the Ice type's greatest strengths is the weather effect of Hail. Hail is a weather effect that only really benefits the Ice type. At the end of every turn while Hail is active, Hail does damage to 1/16 to the HP of almost all non-Ice type Pokemon. There are also a few Ice type exclusive abilities that get activated with Hail that we're definitely going to be taking advantage of. And the 2 biggest benefits of having Hail up, having Blizzard Never Miss, and allowing Aurora Veil to be set up. These are all invaluable assets that really set up the foundation for running Hail on this team. So naturally, the first Pokemon on our Ice type team is going to be Alolan Ninetales. Ninetales is one of my favorite Pokemon, but favoritism aside, you can't have an Ice type team, or a team that uses Hail for that matter, without Alolan Ninetales. An Ice and Fairy type Pokemon that has the Snow Warning ability, which causes it to set up Hail as soon as it hits the field. It's also a really fast Pokemon, meaning that it can go right out into dishing out hard-hitting blizzards, and since it can never miss in the Hail, who wouldn't? But Alolan Ninetales actually goes a step further, with the move Aurora Veil. And when your entire team has a ton of weaknesses, reducing the damage done to your team by 50% from both physical and special type moves is crucial. In double battles, it's dropped down to 1/3 for both you and your ally, which is still pretty good. Thankfully, Aurora Veil's effect still continues after Hail is ended, but you can prolong that effect if you let Alolan Ninetales hold the Light Clay, which lets Aurora Veil stay up for 5 to 8 turns instead of the usual 5. For the last 2 moves, you can give Ninetales Moonblast for fighting types and Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is a bit weaker than Ice Beam, but it comes handy when going up against water types, as it's super effective against them. If you don't want to breed Moonblast and Freeze Dry, then go with Dazzling Gleam and Ice Beam. Regardless of what, Ninetales is a great specially offensive and defensive Pokemon, and a great lead to start off your team. But since this is casual play, you won't need to lead off with Ninetales and set up the hail every time you get into a battle, as the other members will be able to take care of themselves for the most part. But it is in the hail that most of these Pokemon really shine. Like the other Ice type Alolan form, Alolan Sandslash. With it being an Ice and Steel type Pokemon, it gains a lot of resistances, but its weaknesses of fire and fighting have been multiplied. But Sandslash won't really have to worry about them because it's outspeeding the competition with its ability, Slush Rush. So even though it only has a speed stat of base 65, once doubled, its speed can get pretty high. And if you get the chance, then feel free to set up a Swords Dance so that you have the opportunity to sweep every Pokemon that comes your way. Even if you don't have the hail up, Sandslash has fantastic physical defense, so as long as you know that you can take a few upcoming physical hits, it may be worth investing a Swords Dance or two. As for stab moves, Icicle Crash and Iron Head are your best friends. Both are strong moves that have a 30% chance to flinch, so if you're lucky, the opponent may not even get a chance to attack. But if Icicle Crash's accuracy concerns you, then don't worry, as they'll get one strong Ice type hit for sure, because we're gonna let Alolan Sandslash hold the Icium Z. As it's meant to be a physical sweeper, it only makes sense that we give it a Z Crystal to hold, and with Sub-Zero Slammer, you pretty much get a free KO. For Sandslash's final move, it's your choice between Earthquake, Knockoff, and Brick Break. Just choose after seeing what's in store with the rest of the team. And if you decide that you don't want Swords Dance, then just pick two of these moves. Regardless of what, Alolan Sandslash is probably sweeping some teams. Mamoswine may also decide to sweep some teams as well, because this Pokemon is nothing but a monstrous threat. Offensively, Ice and Ground go together incredibly well. Ground covers every type that resists Ice, while being super effective against Fire and Steel, and Ice covers Flying and Grass types for Ground. It's not all too fast, but has a lot of HP and a monstrous 130 attack stat, which allows it to take out walls with ease. It's got a fair bit of bulk to take hits itself, and with its thick fat ability, it'll actually resist Ice and become neutral to Fire. Despite this, however, it's still not that great defensively, so it's gonna do a ton of damage as soon as it can. Earthquake is definitely going to be your most useful move here, as it's gonna check for all the Ice type's resistances, and against Bug, Grass, or Flying type Pokemon, you can once again use Icicle Crash. Mamoswine can also use Knockoff, if you decide to not carry it with Sandslash, but I'd recommend carrying Superpower instead, as it's just an incredibly powerful fighting type move that can knock out Pokemon with ease. However, you can only get these two moves at the battle tree, so to substitute till then, run either Thrash or Stone Edge, as they're also moves that just deal a ton of damage. And finally, we have Ice Shard. We can't have a Mamoswine without Ice Shard. Though it's only for 60 base power after stab, it is a priority move and will still be hitting hard because of Mamoswine's high attack stat. This helps Mamoswine deal with its speed and can really help it function as a revenge killer. Mamoswine is versatile, so it can work as many different things, but regardless of what, Ice Shard is a necessity. Just be sure to keep the move as a Swine up because you won't be able to get it later. Unfortunately, the Ice type doesn't have great Mega options, as we only have Mega Abomasnow and Mega Glalie. And though it may not be the popular choice, I've decided to go for Abomasnow. There are a few reasons for this. Yeah, overall, Mega Glalie is probably better than Mega Abomasnow, but Mega Glalie doesn't really benefit the team in any way. It's kinda just a last resort kamikaze Pokemon. Not to mention that it's typically used as a physical attacker, when we already have a good number of those on the team, so to change things up and add a Mega that can serve as a mixed attacker with more type coverage and one that can benefit the team, I've added Mega Abomasnow. Mega Abomasnow's real main purpose is to be a backup Hail user. Having two Pokemon that can set up Hail will be really useful for an Ice type team, and its Grass type gives us a way to deal with Water and Rock types pretty easily. Unfortunately, Mega Abomasnow is incredibly slow and has a lot of weaknesses, but unless it's getting hit by a Fire type move, it can just use Giga Drain to recover lost HP, or if it wants, it could always go for a guaranteed Blizzard for massive damage. Based off of the moves that you've chosen for Mamoswine and Sandslash, you can go for either Earthquake or Focus Blast. Just remember that Focus Blast never really works when you need it to. You could keep both moves if you really want to, but I'd like to have the last move as Ice Shard, as the priority really helps. If you are going to be using this team in an in-game playthrough, you won't be able to get Mega Abomasnow till the post-game, but fortunately, Mega Abomasnow is just a buffed up Abomasnow, so until you get its Mega Stone, you can experiment with its held item, but maybe a big root to buff up that Giga Drain recovery. Out of the few Water and Ice type Pokemon, Cloyster is arguably the best one. With a fantastic defense stat and decent attack stats, you may be wondering what this Pokemon can do. But with this ability skill link, This Pokemon is probably the one that you can have the most fun with on the team, while taking out threats with ease. Skill Link is an ability which allows multi-strike moves such as Icicle Spear to hit all 5 times, rather than 2 to 5 times. And when you have access to Icicle Spear and Rock Blast, why wouldn't you take advantage of that ability? Especially when you can slap a King's Rock or a Razor Fang on the Pokemon as well. With the King's Rock or Razor Fang, all of Cloyster's moves have a chance to flinch. But with the Skill Link moves, after all 5 hits, there's around a 41% chance that you flinched out your opponent. That is, if you didn't destroy them already. You gotta be faster than your opponent to flinch them out though, so if you have the chance, be sure to run and use Shell Smash. Just be careful though, cause if you get hit by a special move after this, you're pretty much out for the count. Hydro Pump would be a good last move to have, as it's one of the strongest water type moves, so that can take out rock and fire types with ease. But if you want to go for something safer like Razor Shell, then just be sure to get on Shelter before evolving it into Cloyster. Level 32 is a long time to keep it as a Shelter, so you're gonna have to be prepared to keep it at the back of your party for a while. If you don't like having Shell Smash, then you can always substitute it for Spike Cannon, which is a normal type Skill Link move. Or, since you'll be slow without Shell Smash, Ice Shard can once again save the day. I know that a bunch of you were probably expecting Weavile as the final team member, but believe it or not, Frostlass actually works as a fantastic last addition on our team. For one, it's really fast and it's primarily used as a special attacker, which are both things we need on the team. It also has the ability Snow Cloak, which boosts its evasiveness in the hail. And as we have 2 Pokemon with the ability Snow Warning, chances are that Frostlass isn't going to be getting hurt all too often. But in case it does, you can let it recover with some leftovers. Or if you'd like, you can swap it with Mamoswine's Expert Belt. But regardless of what, it isn't going to get hurt at all by fighting type Pokemon, because of its Ice and Ghost typing, which makes it a perfect switch in against many fighting type Pokemon. Once you switch in, just use Psychic, and that fighting type is more than likely out of here. For stab Ice and Ghost type moves, we have Shadow Ball and Ice Beam. I'm kinda surprised that we went all this way without having Ice Beam on any Pokemon yet, but it's a staple on an in-game Frostlass, and Shadow Ball is as well, as it'll take care of opposing Ghost types. And for the final move, I like to run an in-game team with some sort of move that inflicts status, and my favorite has to be Thunder Wave. Will-O-Wisp is also very viable, but that 5% difference in accuracy makes a big difference to me when it comes to these 2 moves. And I just rather have the chance of a free turn than halving the opponent's attack and dealing a bit of damage to them. Although, with the damage dealt from Hail on top of Willow, you could be dealing a nice bit of residual damage. Regardless of which status move you pick, Frostlass will definitely be a very viable team member, and one that you may be using a bit more often than you may have expected. And there we have it. Here's what I consider to be the best Ice-type team for an in-game playthrough. An offensive Ice-type team that takes full advantage of Hail and their unique dual types, so that they can counter their many weaknesses. Maybe one of you will actually end up using this team for fun during a playthrough, or maybe one of you will end up finding a way to use this team competitively. Either way, this was just for fun, so let me know what you thought of this team. Next time on the Best Monotype Team series, we have the Ghost type, cause this series may or may not have originated from thinking of Halloween special ideas and be a few months late. But after the Ghost type, it's up to you guys to decide what type we cover on the series next, so be sure to let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit a bunch of like button if you enjoyed the video, and hit that dislike button if you didn't. Let me know how you feel. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about our Ice-type team, and what changes would you make to it? Let me know. Share the video around if you want to help us with the channel. And finally, subscribe and hit the little bell icon if you want to stay up to date with all my content. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video, alright? Later.